Okay, good evening. I'd like to call meeting to order of Thursday, June 30th, 2016, of the Nassau County Interim Finance Authority. And we have a rather small agenda, 5 items. So first item is the approval of the minutes. If anybody has any comments.
I'll move that we approve them.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
so moved. The
Yes.
second item is the consideration of the Nassau County financing through the Environmental Facilities Corporation. And I would ask Jeremy to describe what this authorization is actually for. And also, we might want to have somebody from the County Attorney's Office address the question that was posed to us from the legislature. So please go ahead.
Late in the day. I'll describe the project, but before I do, I will just describe the issue. Late in the day, there was an issue of whether this matter had been authorized by the county legislature. So I'm going to discuss the financing briefly, and then we're going to ask someone from the county to tell us why it has actually been authorized by the legislature. The matter that we're here to approve, that we're here to ask you to approve, is a financing through the State Environmental Facilities Corporation. The financing would be for approximately $41.6 million, and it would basically cover a feasibility study of an ocean outfall for the Bay Park sewage treatment plant. Of the $41 million, the county would have to pay back to the environmental facilities all but approximately $8.9 million. So what we're asking you to do is actually approve the financing for $41 million, but we're also put into the resolution that after the initial feasibility study, which is approximately $2 million, the county will have to come back to us before they spend any more of the total $41 million which you're authorizing today.
May I just ask a couple of clarifying questions?
Sure.
So, Jeremy, the $2 million that would be spent on the feasibility study, is there a contract contemplated or before us for that, or would that be internal costs?
I have not seen a contract, so I don't know what the status of that is.
And then the second question, just an observation would be that, of course, the county couldn't spend a dime of any of this without us approving the contracts for the spending. This would just authorize the borrowing. Is that correct?
I suppose in theory, that they've agreed to that. In theory, they could make them for a de minimis amount, I suppose.
Well, yeah.
But
You'd have to do a
in
lot
a
of
normal
$25,000
contract,
contracts to
the
get
answer
But
is
I think the point is that in order, I think some of this money is grant money and some of it is competitive. So in order for the county to qualify and receive their share of the award, they must show that they have a financing in place to do the project in order to get their share. So if we did not do this, they could be at jeopardy of losing grant money.
EFC apparently has expressed to the county their desire to have a commitment that the county intends to proceed with this project. Passing this resolution, among other things, is an act of good faith, saying that if the county proceeds, they'd like EFC to raise this money.
But all the spending that's over the threshold would still come before us.
That's right. And,
So-
but I should
So
also
it's not an open
I should also say that even though there's $2 million for an initial feasibility study and there's approximately $39 million to figure out how the system would work, if in fact the system is built, we're talking about a project which will probably run between $300 and $400 million.
Right.
That's for another day.
Right.
At this point, we're approving the initial borrowing and letting the county spend $2 million. Hopefully, they'll have an appropriate contract. Now, Connell, do you want to briefly speak about whether or not this particular project has been authorized by the legislature? It was represented to me in writing that it had been. There were some last-minute questions. Connell Denyon is one of the chief deputies of the county legal department.
Thank you, Jeremy. Yes, I can confirm that the legislature did approve this, signed by the county executive. It was Ordinance 171 of 2014, which was approved in December of 2014.
Are there any questions for Connell?
Not for Connell, no. Jeremy, in the event that this...
Thank you, Connell.
Thank you. Jeremy, in the event that this, that there's some dispute or confusion about whether the legislative approval was sufficient, but just wanted to point out that it's pretty obvious that this, if that's not the case, then the resolution dies under its own weight, too.
I would say the resolution would be void.
Right. So
If in fact
it-
they
it
didn't
cures
have
itself
proper-
if there's a problem.
They're not a proper authorization. And if I were bond counsel at EFC, I certainly wouldn't opine on these bonds if they felt that the county didn't have proper authorization. So it's kind of belt and suspenders.
Okay, if
And
there are
don't
no
worry,
other questions,
I will be watching.
if there are no other questions, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Next
Um,
item is is authorization to participate in a municipal derivative settlement and take any related actions. And Jeremy, why don't you,
Very briefly,
Comment on
we've been asked to participate in a quote-unquote derivatives settlement. And the terms of what we would be giving up and gaining from this settlement are not entirely clear. So what I'm asking you for in this resolution is your authorization proxy for me to go ahead and enter into or agree to be part of the settlement, and also to allow me to hire outside counsel if I need help to figure out exactly what we might be gaining or losing by being part of this settlement. And that's what's before you now. Any questions?
And Jerry, it might just help for the record to remind people what's in our materials, which is that at one point in 2012, we actually received a check for over $500,000 from one of the banks.
Right,
On one of these
for
settlements,
example,
so
we
it's
got
real
a,
money.
we got a check for almost $500,000 from UBS, from a UBS settlement from the Attorney General.
Right.
And this settlement also has to do with UBS, so it's hard to figure out whether the prior check we got for $500,000 in some way voids out what we may get here and vice versa.
Got it.
So normally I don't ask for extra help because I'm too arrogant, but I may need it in this case. That's what I'm saying.
okay, if there's no other questions, do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. And the fourth item we would like to add to the agenda is the authorization to hire counsel. So Jeremy, why don't you speak on that
So
briefly?
once again, you know, there've been a large number of issues which have come before the office, and we have in the past used Bond Shenik on some matters, so I'd like authority to hire them to help me on an as-needed basis. So although the exact scope of their responsibilities isn't clear yet, I would like your pre-authorization to enter into an agreement with them.
Moved.
I'll report back to the chairman on the terms of the agreement.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. And the fourth item on the agenda is, and maybe Evan can speak to this, but it's a resolution based on our analysis of where the county is in the second quarter vis-à-vis their gap deficit and what we're projecting. And we would like to take some action to ensure that it meets within the guidelines that were originally directed by us. So Evan, why don't you speak a little bit to
Sure.
the issue?
Well, we prepared a resolution that we believe addresses the board's concern that the county continue to make meaningful progress in towards balancing its budget in a manner that is consistent with the NIFA statute. Said another way, the board wants to ensure that the county not incur a gap deficit without using other financing sources that would be greater than $80 million. By doing that, this should put the county in a better position to achieve gap balance in 2018 by not allowing the county to backtrack from what had been expected by the board in approving the 2016 through 19 multi-year plan.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move the resolution that is before the board.
Is there a second?
Second.
My only comment is that the county is welcome to overachieve and come back with something that gets it to 70 or 60 million if they care to.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody, for